Hi everybody, this is Kristen from A Voice and a View, here to do another video. And I'm in a comfy spot today on here, and it's raining outside, so I figured I'd just sit here and do one. So I hope you're doing well out there, and today's healing lesson is called Mastering Your Own Story. So I'll start out the video with a question. And that question is, who are you going to let write your story? And the reason I say that is because everything in the world around you is trying to control your own story. And the more you give your power away of the light inside of you as a divine being under God that gave you everything that you have, everything that you are, everything that you are meant to be, gave you everything. And that's different for all of us. But when you let others control you, you are giving away your story. You're giving away your power. And I got to turn this down. Hold on a second. Sorry. My TV just started or turned on. But the more you let things control you in your outside world, the more you let your story change. And the more the story that was meant for you, that God created for you, you let slip through your fingers. There's always going to be outside forces that try to control your story. Through manipulation, lies, whatever that is. And sometimes there's a lot trying to control you or your story. But it's up to you as a sovereign being to create from what God wanted for you, what God gave you. And you may not believe that you have any gifts, Cleo. She just licks my finger. I'm like, stop. Lickalotsky, now stop. Big yawns. Okay. But you may not know what your gifts are. And I went through my whole life like that, up until the last 10 years or so. And the more I went through this Great Awakening journey, the more I started waking up and realizing that God had gifts for me that I didn't even realize, that I had no idea was going to be a part of my story. And waking up to who I was in the spirit, my soul, instead of just looking at my life like it's just my story down here. Okay, it's just the physical world around me. And not realizing that there was something bigger than myself. Hold on. She keeps trying to put this blanket on her. She's grabbing it and trying to pull it over herself. And she loves to have the blanket totally covering her whole body. Doesn't matter if it's 80 degrees inside or cold. She's got to have it over her entire body. I don't know why she loves it, but she does. But I had to fix it for her. So now she's happy. But when you just work with the physical world and you only look at your life as just you in it and the people around you, okay? When you look at your life like that and you don't have spirit in your life, God, I call God's Spirit. But when you don't have that connection, you're missing out on a lot of what God wanted for you. He has his own story for you. But you're not going to realize that until you really find out who you are in the Spirit. You know, what your soul was sent here to do, and what your story is supposed to be, how you're supposed to make an impact to others, to unlock the gifts that He has given you that are inside you, but you just haven't found them yet. You haven't unlocked the gifts. And everyone has gifts waiting. They're just waiting to be revealed to you. And when you go through this awakening journey and this healing journey, and why I do my videos, explaining about the healing process of opening your chakras, all the way from your root chakra at the base of the spine, down here, all the way up to your crown chakra. Okay, when you open up your energy centers in your body, it's a game changer. It's your story changer. Because you work through those lower energies, the devil energy, like I talk about, where you can be manipulated and lied to, and all those lower frequency energies. Okay, you get out of those energies and you work your way up to the abundance energies from the heart chakra on up. Okay, whoop. You start to unlock what was meant for you, what is supposed to create your story. And your story could go in so many different directions, you know, and you may not even realize that there is so much more for you to experience on this physical plane than what you're experiencing right now. This is not all there is. Okay, it doesn't matter how old you are. Doesn't matter how old your vessel is. You know, this suit that we wear. You know, we are not the body. We are the soul. We are the spirit. We're all connected in the spirit. But it doesn't matter how old you are. Okay, because your soul is constant. Your soul is infinite. Okay, and you're here for another experience through reincarnation. You're here to experience everything. And you wrote your own story before coming down on this plane. Okay, so everything happening around you is your story. So how are you going to finish your story? How are you going to know what other details are left in your story? If you stay where you are, if you stay stagnant, if you don't make the changes to help heal yourself, to grow and evolve into a stronger version of yourself, into a higher version of yourself. Okay, to get to know your higher self, which we all have, because we're all divinely connected. And your higher self is there to help you along the journey, to help show you signs, synchronicities. You know, they'll show you signs everywhere, in nature, on billboards, on signs, on semis. I mean, the dings on your phone, through confirmations, by you asking questions. Ask the questions, guys. Ask the universe questions and ask to be shown the truth. And you will be shown. But you have to realize that you are part of God. And they're waiting for you to ask for help. They're waiting for you to ask questions, to connect. But you are a free being, you are a sovereign being, and you have the choice whether to ask or not. But how are you going to know how your story is going to end up if you don't ask? If you don't start the journey? If you don't heal all of that darkness within you to let the light in, to let the higher version of yourself come through, to create the best ending in your story. There's so many directions your life can go. So many ideas and epiphanies that you get when you do this awakening journey, when you wake up to everything happening around you that you didn't realize was happening, and that there is a bigger version of your life happening around you at all times. But you just have to wake up enough to see it and to take back control of your life, of the lyrics of your song, of the chapters of that book in your life. You could have dreamed of so many things as a child, but never followed through with those dreams. And those dreams of yours, pay attention to your dreams, guys. Not just dreaming, while you're sleeping, but, the dreams that you had as a child. That's your higher self talking to you. That is your higher self guiding you to your purpose, to what you're here for. Are you working that job that you don't like 40 hours a week or more just to go to work, come home, and eat, maybe do a few things, and go to bed and do it all again the next day? God wants you happy. He wants you to realize that you have a purpose. And you might not be living that purpose. But He wants you to create your own story and doesn't want somebody else manipulating you in other ways to control your story, to control the outcome, okay? To control the ending of your story. My dog's got her blanket over her head and she can't see. Hold on. Cleo, what are you doing? Okay. I know my video's all over the place, guys. Sorry. But there's so many genres out there to help create the new version of you. And what is it going to be? Is it going to be that book that you write? Is it going to be being, or taking pictures to become a photographer? Writing that screenplay, figuring out who the characters are in your story, in your book? Are you going to write poetry? Are you going to write music? You could go into television. You could go into so many different genres because you are a creative. And that's what we are. We are here to create, to realize who you are, who you really are in the spirit. And the more you heal, the more you reveal of who you actually are. And if you've given up, if you're just going through your day-to-day like that's all there is, I hope you realize that that's not the case. And that you still have time to recreate your story. You still have time to write that chapter, to start that first chapter in your book. You still have time to create in any way you want to. And take control of your own life. And write the chapters in that nonfiction book, in that fiction book that you want to create. And what characters are you going to put in that book? You have dreams from your childhood that you never went forward with, that you never experienced, that you can still do. We're moving and transitioning into the light now, into the age of Aquarius, and we are already in that process. And we are here to create in so many different ways, so many different areas that will help you find happiness, that will help others find happiness. We're not just here to work an 8 to 5 or 9 to 5 every day, to just survive, to just wait until that next paycheck comes in, to work for someone else. We all have the ability to create our own story and to figure out who is going to be in that story, and all the people around you and the characters around you. Who's going to stay in it? Who is going to have your back? Who is going to treat you with respect and admiration? And who can you trust? Who wants to be there for you? Who supports you in every way? Hey, Cleo. If there's anyone that is manipulating you in any way, shape, or form, make that an old chapter that you can rewrite and add new characters in. And those details, those people in your new story that are going to help you thrive and be there for you no matter what. Some of the old story has to go for the people that have manipulated you, in any way, because you are all important. We are all children of God, and God does not care for people manipulating others in any way. And you deserve better. And I hope that you realize that you deserve better, because we all do. We all should be respected and treated with kindness. But without the darkness, the light can't survive, and just the opposite. Helps us grow, helps us learn and evolve. So the darkness is there to help us, even though we might not realize that at the time or agree with it. But it's always there to help us see the light, to see the better version, to see what we started with and what we end up with, and how much you can grow within that story, within those experiences. So you have to look at everything as balance. There's always going to be light and dark in everything. It's an exchange of energy. But it's coming to that balance of both is where you find your story, where you rewrite your story and find the new version of you and transform and alchemize all of that negative into positive and recreate yourself into a better version of you. So start your healing journey today. Go within yourself. Start to heal all the wounds that you carry. Go in, open your chakras up, balance your energy, because everything is a balance of energy, guys. Go within yourself and look at all of those wounds and trauma that you have disregarded your whole life, that you have tried to bury, that you have tried to avoid. Look at those wounds, see them, feel through them, get those emotions out through your tears or, whatever. Meditate on it. Heal your wounds and start the journey. It's so rewarding. You're going to transform into one being into another, into a higher version of you, into your higher self. And you will stop living in the devil energy, in the lack and struggle and depression and anger and manipulation, lies, all of that is in your lower self. And you will move into the higher version of yourself, into the heavenly energies. You have to adjust your life. And your story is not over. Again, no matter how old you are, you can recreate yourself. I hope my message today inspires you to make the changes in your life that you need to, so we can all move into a better version of ourselves and make it a better world. Because the healing that you do will domino effect to all the characters in your story around you. And it will start to make a better place for us all. So I hope today you start the journey and build. Build on the tools that I have tried to express through my videos. Start to heal yourself and rewrite your story into greatness. And write new chapters. And make it great. Okay, guys, that's my message for today. And I really hope you start this journey. It's so rewarding. It's helped me so much. Okay, this is Kristen from A Voice and a View. Create your story, guys. Love you all. Peace, love, and light.